Quite frankly, it's just too hard to know who exactly is telling the truth. I mean, some of your videos are seen by more people than watch our newscast at night.
Hey guys, Jason with Minnesota News Now out here in front of Fox 9. I'm going to tie this whole story together with Tony Wicklace, how they made up a bunch of lies. I've got the videos, I've compared them side by side. This is going to be part one. I'm going to keep digging into this story. So what's really sad to me is they didn't learn anything from slandering people's names, but you can see how they have a personal vendetta against Tony, and they were waiting and waiting for the right opportunity to strike their fangs right into the guy. I'm not saying I'm picking a side at all on what happened or what he did. This one is to show exactly how they slandered and did a complete lying hit piece on him. So if you ever talk to these people, you know that they're going to twist it, they're going to lie about it, they're going to air it, and they're going to let everybody have what narrative they want to put out there to you guys. I know exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm taking them on.
Alright guys, this is the video that Tony started getting into it with Channel 9, and this is exactly why they have a vendetta against him. All these videos are chopped up, condensed down to save some time, but stay tuned.
Channel 9, it clearly says right
Fox
there.
9, okay. And what's your name, since you want to ask for mine?
My name's Melissa, I'm a photographer.
Please smile.
No.
Come on. Please.
That's really a rude thing to ask somebody.
For you
Also,
to smile in a picture?
If you don't, I am going to call the police.
But I'm focused on Fox 9.
Why?
Fake news.
Just get in the car now. Giving you.
Yeah. Call your dog back in. Call your dog back in.
Whoa!
Hey!
Whoa! What did you just say?
I said call your dogs back in.
What does that even mean?
It means have your dog stand down.
You need to seriously back off right now.
I'm on a public sidewalk.
You do not talk to people like that.
I talk to people however I want.
No, you don't.
That's my
Have
freedom of
some
speech.
respect for
My
some
freedom of
people.
speech.
Well then, take your freedom of speech up the sidewalk.
Nah, you're not going to suppress my freedom of speech.
It looks like Covington High School student Nick Sandman has scored a legal win after being smeared by the media. So, Juan, isn't this a learning moment for reporters everywhere that you should be interested in the facts, not the narrative first?
I hope you're always interested in the facts.
His reputation was destroyed and put on the internet.
With thousands of followers on YouTube, a St. Paul man is known for pushing the limits of the First Amendment.
You know, it's very important that I record everything. Sure, I appreciate that.
But tonight, police and prosecutors say he crossed the line, sexually assaulting a woman and attacking her with a taser.
At the end of the day, I'm just trying to inform the public about the rights that you have as an American citizen.
Anthony Wicklace calls himself the Minnesota Guardian. On his YouTube channel, the baby-faced 20-year-old conducts what he calls First Amendment audits.
I just want to start off by asking you, what is a First Amendment audit?
So a First Amendment audit is either when you're on some kind of public form of access. So either that be this city hall here or the public sidewalk. You know, it's really just about using your First Amendment right to film in public, freedom of the press, freedom of speech, and just to see if it is infringed, then to try and correct whatever party it is that's trying to infringe on the right. Sorry about
Essentially walking into public buildings and rudely interrogating public employees against their wishes.
No, you don't have a right to do that. So I can...
Wait, why don't I have the right to do that? Don't I pay for this building? Don't I pay for your salary as a taxpayer? What's your name? You're a government employee. I'd like to know my public servant's name. What is your name, servant? What's your name, servant?
So now after time, Lyden is knocking Tony for going into government buildings, publicly owned, where you see this happening all across the country where they have auditors. You have Tom Lyden at night in the dark creeping up on a lady.
We made an exception in this case when we heard that the lady across the street just got out of the county workhouse where she was doing time for harassing neighbors. And when we got here, we just got a small sample of perhaps what they've been dealing with here. Who, as we discovered tonight, isn't the easiest woman to talk to. She called the cops on us. Okay, you want me to leave? They say police have actually instructed them to videotape so it doesn't turn out to be one person's word against another.
Wickless also trails police, and that's what he was doing Sunday night in St. Paul when police say he stalked a woman who appeared to be having a mental health crisis.
All right, so I like how he completely lies about what is said, and this is the arrest affidavit from the police department, meaning that it's not coming from police, it's coming from her, the alleged victim. Now, what's very interesting is to read the entire thing. I'm not going to put it, I got a little bit of it in the video here, but he completely lies. I'll let you read through it. It's going to be in the description, but he completely lies on what he says.
And was especially vulnerable. According to criminal charges, he told her his name was Tony and he was an expert in de-escalation. He never said he was a cop, but she saw a police scanner and tactical gear in his Crown Vic. She says he offered her a ride home and began making sexual advances, offered her money for oral sex, then began masturbating. When she rejected his advances, she says he began to drive more aggressively, got off the freeway in a White Bear Lake neighborhood, pushed her out of the car, and tased her, not once, but twice, then sped off. But she got his plate. St. Paul police arrested Wickless Monday night, and today he was charged with second-degree assault and criminal sexual conduct in the 5th degree.
What do you mean, what am I doing? Running up on the scene. Trying to see what's going on, man.
Plenty of people saw trouble coming with Wickless, but there was little they could do. Ramsey County had warned its employees to be courteous to him as long as the behavior wasn't threatening.
If there is a lesson to be learned also, I would say we would have learned it the first time. This is a movie that doesn't need a sequel.
There have been plenty of sequels with more than 100 videos. Along with so-called collaborators, he's hit the DMV.
I just said, do not kill me.
The post office.
Ma'am,
This is not a job.
This is a
This
job,
is called
ma'am.
invasion of privacy.
It is not, ma'am.
It doesn't matter what I said. You better get that camera off of me.
And the lobby of the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension.
Holy 4D for us? There's no expectation of privacy in a public setting.
And you get that I'm totally with you on that.
Right.
I mean, we fought to get in meetings. I made a big fuss because they closed an Upper Harbor Terminal meeting on me, and I made a fuss about that. So I'm there to make sure we get in meetings and we have a right to access.
So you can't expect privacy if you're in a public place.
But there is a right not to be harassed. You
I agree.
But the more confrontational the video, the more clicks it gets. Minnesota Guardian has 13,000 subscribers and more than 2 million views. Enough traffic to make money. How much, he won't say.
How much money do you make? Do you make money off these YouTube hits?
I do, and it's enough to pay the bills. That's all I'm going to say about.
Do you consider yourself a member of the press or the media?
I do. I believe that not only am I part of the press, but everybody is. That's part of the First Amendment, freedom of the press.
Wrapped in the First Amendment, there wasn't much police could do. They would arrest him for disorderly conduct, but the charges never stuck.
Looked at the police reports. A lot of times they get called for disorderly conduct, but you're never charged with anything. Have you ever had a charge stick?
No, I've been charged twice, and the city attorney has dropped both the charges.
That's my impression as well.
More often, he's in danger of being assaulted, like when he recorded people entering a mosque while wearing a Make America Great hat. Or at Bloomington City Hall, where he walked in wearing a flak jacket that said press on it.
So I'm going to... Let me, Bloomington City Hall, you went in with a press jacket. Was that like a flak jacket?
It was a stab vest.
A stab vest.
So it was just basically something where I could put placards on to say that I'm part of the press to make it more obvious to people.
I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
If I saw you come into the Bloomington City Hall with what looks like a flak jacket, I'm going to think I'm in the middle of an active shooter situation. That would scare the living hell out of me.
I don't think so, because I didn't go, and also it's not against the law to wear one of those kind of vests.
But you know the world we live in.
Okay, right, but I had clear indicators about what I was doing there.
A year and a half ago, Wickless told me he wasn't going to stop pushing the boundaries. Police and prosecutors believe the petulant provocateur finally crossed that line, going from so-called guardian to predator.
I mean, some of your videos are seen by more people than watch our newscast at night.
Tom Lyden, Fox 9.
Here's Sheriff Bob Fletcher commenting about Tony.
I never really minded what Tony was doing, but sometimes Tony got a little bit, unkind, reporting what's going on is always positive for the public. So thanks for what you're doing. And we need accountability. All the government needs to be held accountable.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. More to come on this story. Jason with Minnesota News Now out.